Have you ever looked at someone successful, an entrepreneur, an artist, or an innovator, and thought, they must have something I don't? In Originals, How Non-conformists Move the World, organizational psychologist Adam Grant reveals a surprising truth. Originality isn't about being fearless, brilliant, or born different. It's about learning how to stand out while staying true to yourself and taking smart, calculated risks that challenge the status quo. Grant's message is clear. Anyone can be original. You don't have to be a visionary genius or a rule breaker from birth. In fact, many of the world's most original thinkers were cautious, uncertain, and even afraid. What separates them from the rest is that they acted anyway. They questioned assumptions, embraced doubt, and pursued ideas others ignored. The book explores how people like Steve Jobs, Martin Luther King Jr., and even the creators of Seinfeld became successful not because they followed a clear path, but because they dared to think differently when everyone else played it safe. The myth of fearless innovation. Grant begins by shattering the myth that originals are fearless risk-takers. In reality, most innovators are risk balancers. They take bold chances in one area, but play it safe in another. For example, the founders of Warby Parker, now one of the most successful eyewear companies in the world, kept their day jobs while launching their startup. They didn't quit everything to chase a dream. They managed their risk so failure wouldn't destroy them. Grant writes, "Originals are not the ones who start talking first. They are the ones who speak up later and bring a fresh perspective. True originality is not about leaping without a plan. It's about challenging convention while staying grounded in reality." The power of doubt and procrastination. Most people see procrastination as laziness, but Grant argues that strategic procrastination can actually enhance creativity. When you delay a task, not out of avoidance, but out of incubation, you give your brain time to form new connections. Leonardo da Vinci worked on the Mona Lisa for over 16 years, constantly revising and rethinking his approach. Martin Luther King Jr. rewrote his "I Have a Dream" speech until the night before he gave it, and then improvised his most famous line on the spot. Grant writes, "Procrastination gives you time to consider divergent ideas, to think in non-linear ways, and to make unexpected leaps. This doesn't mean putting everything off indefinitely. It means using time as a creative tool. The best ideas often need space to breathe before they can come alive." The courage to speak up. Another powerful insight in Originals is that originality requires the courage to voice your ideas, especially when others disagree. Many people stay silent because they fear rejection or ridicule. But Grant points out that most great innovators faced resistance before their ideas were accepted. When you challenge the norm, you will face pushback. That's not a sign of failure, it's a sign you're on to something new. The key is learning to express your ideas in ways that make others listen. Grant calls this the art of championing. To make your voice heard, you must frame your ideas strategically. Use evidence, empathy, and timing to bring others along. People are more likely to embrace originality when they see how it benefits them, not just how it excites you. He writes, "Being original doesn't require being first, it just requires being different and better." Rethinking failure. One of the biggest barriers to originality is the fear of failure. But Grant explains that original thinkers don't avoid failure, they embrace it as feedback. He shares a fascinating study of successful entrepreneurs, those who launched multiple small projects before their breakthrough were far more successful than those who went all in on one idea. Why? Because experimentation breeds insight. Every failed attempt refines your instincts, sharpens your strategy, and brings you closer to success. Grant writes, "The greatest originals are not those who have the fewest failures, but those who learn the most from them." Failure is not the opposite of originality, it's the foundation of it. The role of disobedience. Grant argues that true innovation often begins with disobedience, not rebellion for its own sake, but the courage to question rules that no longer make sense. Many organizations and cultures discourage dissent, but constructive disagreement is essential for progress. He points out that in healthy teams, people debate ideas vigorously. They criticize concepts, not individuals. This kind of task conflict strengthens creativity and leads to better decisions. In contrast, teams that avoid disagreement end up reinforcing mediocrity. He writes, "The hallmark of originality is rejecting the default and exploring whether a better option exists. To be original, you must learn to think independently, to step outside the comfort of conformity and see problems with fresh eyes." The power of allies. Even the most original thinkers rarely succeed alone. Grant emphasizes that allies, mentors, collaborators, and supporters are crucial for turning unconventional ideas into reality. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking, not those who simply agree. He shares the story of Martin Luther King Jr. and his relationship with Bayard Rustin, a strategist who helped refine King's message of non-violent resistance. King had the passion, but Rustin helped him shape it into a movement. Originality thrives in collaboration. When you share your ideas with others who see the world differently, you strengthen them. How to nurture originality. Grant also offers practical advice for cultivating originality in daily life. He suggests questioning assumptions. Regularly ask, "Why are things done this way?" Or, "What if the opposite were true?" He encourages creating idea bridges, combining insights from different fields to form something new. Steve Jobs once said that creativity is just connecting things, and Grant echoes this by reminding us that innovation often comes from crossing boundaries between disciplines. He also warns against the trap of overconfidence. The moment you think you know everything, you stop learning. Stay curious, stay humble, and stay open to being wrong. Originality in leadership. Grant explains that originality isn't just for entrepreneurs or creatives, it's essential for leadership. Great leaders don't demand conformity, they encourage diversity of thought. They create cultures where questioning, experimenting, and failing safely are part of growth. He writes, "The greatest leaders are not those who force their vision on others, but those who empower others to generate their own." A leader's job is to make originality safe, to reward people for thinking differently, and to celebrate courage, not just results. The big takeaway. The message of originals is simple but profound. You don't need to be fearless or perfect to change the world. You just need to question the default, act on your ideas, and persist long enough to make them real. Being original means seeing problems as opportunities. It means recognizing that progress depends not on those who conform, but on those who care enough to challenge convention. As Adam Grant writes, "The world is not moved only by the mighty shoves of heroes, but also by the aggregate of tiny pushes of each honest worker." That was Originals by Adam Grant, broken down into its most powerful lessons. Which of these principles will you apply first, questioning assumptions, embracing doubt, or championing new ideas? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this summary, make sure to like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and ring the bell so you never miss our weekly breakdowns of life-changing books. Remember, Originality isn't about being different for the sake of it. It's about daring to make things better.